me just show you how thick it is. Now I'm squeezing pretty hard. That's how thick it is. So it's not a real fluid ink like your pigments. And matter of fact, if you like doing this, I would recommend a re-inker or two, because if you do much of it all, you will use quite a bit of this ink because it's such a thick, tacky ink. But anyway, you want to be very intentional about pressing down on your stamp. Ink up your stamp. And then when you stamp with it, same thing. You want to press slowly. Okay? Oh, where did that flower thing? Did I give you the flower thing? No. I was just making sure I gave it to you. Oh, okay. No, I just thought, what did I do with it? Did I give it to you or not? Sorry, my mind just... Squirrel. Anyway, I'm pressing slowly. And if you're pressing with a flat mounted stamp, like a wood mount stamp, press and hold it a little bit. You want to give the ink plenty of time to stick to the page so that you get good coverage. It looks like maybe I didn't get quite enough ink on my stamp there. We'll see. I actually re-ink several times when I'm going to show because I go through so much of it. Okay, so now I'm just going to randomly add some colors. When I'm done with this, remind me to tell you about those two. I'll forget it. Remind me. Somebody remind me. Okay, I'm just going to very quickly and randomly rub some color on. And again, when I'm done with one color, I rub my excess off on a scrap piece of paper. Now with the pearlescents, these 6 are the pearlescents. You really don't have a lot of excess left with the pearlescent colors.
Is that a way? That's the way you're cleaning it too,
right? I'm cleaning the sponge. Now, the sponge will stay stained. The stain won't go away. But yeah, it gets most of the color off. Because I can dip the same sponge in another color. It won't contaminate, especially if I've cleaned it off. And then later, for those of you who weren't here when I was talking about this, later I will use this background for something else. That's what all these are, is where I've just wiped my sponges off, and I'll use those backgrounds for something else later. All right, let's do a, I'm going to rub over the whole thing with the yellow. Now I could actually rub over the whole thing with any of these colors because they're all interchangeable and mixable and blendable. But of course, common sense tells me that some of these wouldn't look so great over this. Yeah. So I'm going to use this yellow, and I'll stick with my pearlescent. And I'm just going to kind of rub it all over the whole thing, and it's going to blend my colors. You can see there where I didn't get enough ink on my stamp. And I'm going to blend my colors, smooth it out. Now, I've got nice smooth color all over the whole thing.
Is that just regular paper?
Yeah.
What kind of paper?
Just plain uncoated, just regular uncoated.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Regular uncoated cardstock. This particular cardstock, I believe, the owner had it cut for me, but it feels like cougar opaque, which, if I'm not mistaken, used to be, I'm assuming it still is, one of the sale sheets that Marcos has. They have, if you're familiar with them, they have the sale packs. I think this is one of the sale packs, I'm not sure.
So, like, if you go online to Impression Obsession, you can buy these stamps. Like, they have all of this. Like,
awesome. Yep, the only difference is... The only difference about buying them online is you just wouldn't get the show specials. She has show specials.
I mean, I'm going to get some stuff, but like, down the road
yes.
for later. Yeah.
Yes.
Does it clean up easy?
The Pan Pastels?
Yes.
Yeah, now my hands are really bad looking.
Yeah.
Yesterday, they were like really bad because it was all day. Went in the bathroom, some soap and water took the majority of it off. And then with my nails, I just use a little nail polish remover, takes the rest off. And for the most part, it's gone. I came in this morning.
I'm assuming they wipe up with like a baby wipe too, if you get it on like a table or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Probably so. Never tried it, but I would think so.
Even that's an awesome idea. Like, Kristen, she just said
If there's any left
you can just pull one off. Yeah, I never seen that. Instead of like regular paper.
The pads, I always use, even when I'm teaching classes, I use small children's scribble pads for the students. Yeah, from the dollar store. Now, this particular one came from Ollie's. I don't know if you guys have Ollie's or not. It's like Big Lots on steroids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they sold these 12 by 18 size. But the reason the children's scribble pads work so well is newsprint, which is what this is almost 100% cotton, so it's got a lot of give to it. So it gives you the sponge that you need, plus then it's your scrap paper to work on. I would keep your pad at least 1/4 of an inch. I would have, when your pad, like at home, when my pad gets down to 1/4 of an inch, I just slip another pad underneath it so I can keep working.
Yeah.
At least 1/4 inch is what you want to have a good cushion. All right, now with these pastels being the artist quality pastels that they are, they're not chalk. I can actually stamp over top of them very easily with various mediums. If you're familiar with Donna Downey, she's a multimedia artist, and she uses these on top and with tons of things, pastes and paints and stains and sprays. She uses them for a lot of things. You can't use chalks with a lot of multimedia stuff. If you've ever tried to stamp on top of chalk, it acts almost as a resist. You can't, it just won't accept ink really well. These will.
So you could do pigment ink and do like a embossing powder over it.
Yep.
Like just use it like it's a background.
Yep.
Like nothing is ever.
Yep. So I'm going to stamp over top of this with this pigment ink. Ooh, that pad. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Well, let's do it like that.
But any pigment ink, I see you have your favorite of that.
Yeah, any pigment ink. And honestly, any dye-based ink for that matter. It's just the dye-based inks are a little harder to get on a stamp, and when you have a big stamp, it's more of a challenge. But any ink, it's just a regular rubber stamp.
Which do you tend to use?
Oh,
more,
wow.
these or these? If you were starting out.
I guess it depends on what kind of colors you
Yeah,
like.
I like that. I think.
These, well, first of all, this is a set of 20. They come in sets of 20, sets of 10, 6, and 3. And then they sell them individually and have individual pots as well.
Do these come out if you want to put a cover on it?
This actually is not the way they come. This is a separate palette that you buy separately. They come screwed together like that. And then the individual ones actually have a lid screwed down on it. The sets have a lid screwed on
That's
the
what I
top.
would. Yeah.
Yeah.